Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's March 13th, 2017, and this morning CNN is dedicating its headlines to Michael Brown. You might recall Michael Brown was shot in Ferguson, Missouri, reportedly August 9th, 2014. It was that shooting that caused me to start this video channel. If you've never watched my earliest work, you can go back to the beginning of this channel. I launched this channel in the days after the Michael Brown shooting, before they put out the name of the officer, and I explained then, when the officer's name is released, it will have a gematria of 33, the number of the race war. Today's date, March 13th, 2017, a date with 33 numerology. In case you're new to my channel, you've never seen my work for the last few years, I've been exposing how the news makes propaganda-based information to control the minds of the masses every single day, including the shooting of Michael Brown and today's latest news. The truth is, there never was a Michael Brown. This was a made-up story for mainstream consumption. If you want to see the real Michael Brown, it's a plastic dummy in Chicago, Illinois, at a museum laying face down, just as it laid face down the exact same plastic dummy on the date of August 9th, 2014. As for this surveillance footage and what they're putting in the movie Stranger Fruit, that's what happened over this weekend. There was a film premiere, and the film came out, Stranger Fruit, which is about the shooting of Michael Brown. It supposedly reveals new information that Michael Brown, what he was really guilty of. In case you don't know, they say Michael Brown stole from a store, police saw him, and it ended up in him being shot. Now, this documentary is saying what really happened is Michael Brown went to a shady convenience store, that's how they describe it, and traded marijuana for cigarillos. So he wasn't really stealing, he was just making an illegal barter or an illegal trade. That's the latest news. Well, with regards to it having to do with marijuana, check this out, Truth Seeker. Look at this headline that CNN has up right now. Does new video of Michael Brown change anything? What do you think this equals in gematria? Using the alphabetic order, it sums to 420, and the article is about an illegal marijuana exchange. And that's what the misunderstanding was, why the police shot him. The police code for marijuana is 420. Again, all of this information is bogus propaganda by the numbers. This is the latest headline. When I woke up and began decoding this, CNN had a different headline, Michael Brown's last day, which has gematria of 118 like death. Just so you know, when I got up this morning, I was going to do a video on the death of Joni Sledge and Aaliyah, two musicians murdered by the numbers. Aaliyah's death has a lot to do with 118, like so many other musicians. At the beginning of last year, I predicted the death of Prince based on the death of Vanity. Vanity's cause of death had 118 gematria. Prince ended up dying by the number 118. Remember, the word elevator equals 118. 118, number of death, coded into the first headline CNN had out about Michael Brown. Today's date, the date of this news, March 13th, 2017. Today's a date with 53 numerology. The word shooting has gematria 53. Michael Brown, victim of a shooting. Today's date has 26 and 17 numerology connected to killing and masonry. Today's date also has the 33 numerology, the big one, the number of the race war, coded into the name Michael, coded into the name Darren, the shooter of Michael Brown, Darren Wilson. 33 has come up a million times since. It came up a million times before in the years of propaganda that's meant to divide people among race and even other things. 33 used by Masonry as a number of division. Remember, the Freemasons believe in divide and conquer and order out of chaos. And it is Freemasonry that rules over this nation. In history, Rodney King beaten on March 3rd, Trayvon Martin buried on March 3rd. Here's the men who made the film Stranger Fruit. We'll read the beginning reporting and then we'll just get into the decoding. New video captured hours before Michael Brown was killed shows the 18-year-old exchanging marijuana for cigarillos with the clerks of a Ferguson, Missouri store. Notice how they don't name the store. A documentary director told CNN on Monday. Director Jason Pollock, whose film Stranger Fruit debuted at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin over the weekend, said the video shows that Brown did not rob the store before being stopped by police and that surveillance footage purporting to show Brown engaged in a robbery at the Ferguson Market and Liquor Store was actually video of Brown returning to the store to retrieve the cigarillos the clerks gave him. This is a shady store. We've asked a lot of people in the community. You can buy weed at the store, Pollock said. I don't know if that sounds like a shady store to me. I think more communities need stores like that. But just remember, this whole story is bullshit. Pollock suggests that had the footage been released, it would have altered the notion that Brown was shot after robbing the store. He learned at the footage from a St. Louis County police report that mentioned a video from 1:13 a.m. the day of Brown's death. 1:13 a.m., huh? As I've been saying since 2014, 113 is the number of propaganda. Michael Brown was shot in front of the Canfield Green Apartments, 113, Mainstream 113, Dishonest 113, Perjury 113, Bullshit 113, Fiction 113, and all the media reports is manufactured fiction that plays on real narratives. Yes, there is real racism. Yes, there is white police officers. There's police officers of all races picking on black men. There's even black police officers picking on black men. Police profile, stereotype, racism, unjust incarceration system, it's all true. But what's in the news only plays on the truth of these narratives, and they give us bogus propaganda to provoke us even more. That's why the whole Michael Brown story is such obvious bullshit. Why would the police ever leave a person they shot dead in the street face down for hours, taped off with a little yellow tape and police officers standing around? And anybody can go back and watch the footage. It's out there. Michael Brown's plastic fake body is picked up and put in the back of a police SUV after hours of just sitting there, after crowds gather around trying to see what's going on. After the crowd disperses, they pick up the plastic body and they put it in the back of a police SUV. Do bodies go in the back of police SUVs? No, they don't. They go in the back of ambulances. But Michael Brown isn't a real person. He's a plastic dummy, again, that you can now see on display in Chicago. Got a video on that. CNN had a feature story about Michael Brown display in Chicago. Go back and watch my video. Just search Zachary K. Hubbard, Michael Brown. I have a number of videos on the death of Michael Brown. So anyway, 113, the numbers within that, the master number 11 and 3, 11 times 3, 33, 113, number of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, 33, number of Masonry, Police 33, Race War 33, Darren, the name of the officer, 33, Michael 33, Federal 33, Order 33. This is all part of a federal agenda, you know. Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Magic 33. News propaganda is mind control magic over the masses. People believe the TV before they believe anything else. And with regards to 33, believe equals 33, which I meant to put in that list. When you write out 33, it sums to 66. Cigarillos, which Michael Brown was trading, have gematria of 66. Michael Brown has gematria of 66. Ferguson, Missouri has gematria of 66. So does the film Stranger Fruit. Michael Brown was shot August 9th, 2014, a date with 51 numerology. Go back and watch my older videos on Michael Brown. The significance of 51, the week of the riots. The date of the shooting, 51 numerology. Michael also has gematria of 51, so does Federal, so does Conspiracy, so does Cigarillos, which supposedly he was trading. The latest detail in the story. The name of the officer who shot him. Since 2014, we've learned about other relevant gematria methods that are used in this coding practice. This is an ongoing study, just like I explained back then. Back then, you go and watch my earliest videos, I told people, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm just learning this. I've already learned a lot, but I can tell there's so much more. The name Darren, the name of the officer, has gematria of 102, like police, also like magic, like the hateful word for black people. Talk about the t-shirt Darren Wilson was wearing, something I've been talking about for years now. Darren, the name, also has another connection to police. I mean, this is the perfect name for a police officer. And if you go back to the first video I put out, I said, watch, when they release the name of the officer, it's going to connect to 33 because 33 connects to police. And, you know, that's how I earned my first group of subscribers. A lot of people said, wow, you were right. Darren really does equal 33. And I said, see, they do this every time. But since then, we've learned about more numbers, and we've learned it's much bigger than just 33. But Darren, Michael, police, turns out this Darren name connects to police in a number of ways. And with regards to 102, let's not forget that the Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year, April 12th. Slavery has gematria of 102, as well as 42, number stamped on black people, which we'll talk more about. Lincoln died at the end of the war on a date with 102 numerology. United States of America has 102 gematria with the S exceptions. Nation that came to power on the back of slavery. So his name Darren, also connecting to police, order, also connecting to Michael Brown. In the days after the shooting, Darren Wilson was shown wearing this number 42 with Blues hockey. Of course, Ferguson's right outside of St. Louis where the Blues are, but there's a reason they dressed him up like this. Ferguson 42, Missouri 42, most hateful word for black people 42. Black History Month is February. February is the only month that sums to 42. The awkward month ending on the 59th day of the year, which we'll talk more about. Freemason 42, Zionism 42. 42 and 59 stamped on black people throughout history. Motown Records came out in 59. They say AIDS discovered in 59 in the Belgian Congo. Belgian Congo equals 59, like Negro, like Jigaboo, like Slave, like Blues, like Kill. Names such as Rodney King, who was beaten on 3-3, equal 59. In Chaldean gematria, I just had to check, I noticed that Michael Brown and Darren Wilson both sum to 44, which comes as no surprise because officer equals 44, shooting equals 44. The word kill also has gematria 44. See that number again and again in police-related shootings. It's amazing how often it's reported that officers die in cities at age 44. Disproportionate amount. The name Darren Wilson also has a connection to Freemasonry, the word Mason. The director of this film, Stranger Fruit, the reason for this story today, Jason Pollock has the gematria of 44. Pollock also has the gematria of 33. This news story on a date with 33 numerology. Pollock, the name has two connections to 33. Pollock also sums to 213, Black History Month 213, number coded all over the death of young black men throughout history from Tupac Shakur to Len Bias, Reggie Lewis, so many more. Moses Malone recently died by this number at age 60. The name Pollock also has gematria of 84, like Ferguson, Missouri, like United States of America. So very fitting name to be the director of this film about the death of Michael Brown, which is a fictional incident, meaning that the film is propaganda to again bring up the, well-implanted storyline from Michael Brown from a few years back, which ever since has been brought up probably every 6 months or so. A new Michael Brown headline every 6 months. They want to keep the race war propaganda in the minds of the masses. So there's more here. You can decode the names of the attorney and the other people mentioned. It's all propaganda. These are all the agents of the propaganda. It's all coded out by the numbers. What I'm going to do in the description is link this blog post. I'm also going to link I'm going to do a video on this, but I'm just going to link it in case you just want to read the post. The death of Joni Sledge. She died at age 60 yesterday, or March 10th, a few days ago, but her death was reported yesterday. But just look, It's the same thing again and again. Michael Brown equals 60. We just talked about Darren 60. Moses Malone dropped dead at age 60. And I'm about to get into this death about Joni Sledge, a separate video, but look at her date of birth, September 13th. I just put out a bunch of videos at the beginning of the week about the death of Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur and Moses Malone. And September 13th, now just days later, the death of a relatively young woman born on that date. Watch my next video, or watch the videos I put out earlier on Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. if you missed those. Also, I'm going to do a video on the death of Magic Johnson, or not the death, excuse me. You could say the death of his NBA career, when he announced November 7th, 1991, that he had HIV. This was everything about racism. Magic Johnson, born in 59, the year HIV was supposedly discovered in the Belgian Congo. Magic Johnson never had HIV. It's all part of the race war propaganda, and it was all about Michael Jordan, too. Magic Johnson getting out of the way for Michael Jordan. We'll talk more about it. I'll be doing a video on that, but I'm going to link the post down in the description if you want to watch. There's this show called The 100. They just used the number 42 for the first time in their episode or any of their seasons. In season 4, episode 2, in regards to the black man who plays the character that's a lot like Jesus, a character that has the same name gematria as Jesus. Anyway, ancient Egyptian civilization, they had the 42 laws of Ma'at, which have a lot to do with sin. Have you ever heard of the 42 laws of Ma'at? This could be where the 42 stamping originally comes from on black people. I'm going to be doing a video on this. This actor right here saying the words 42 in season 4, episode 2. His name's Jaha. That'll be another video, but I'm going to link it down in the description. All these things are related, and this is what I was planning on making videos on right now. I didn't know there'd be a Michael Brown headline today, but we know why the Michael Brown headline's coming on 33 Day. Also, want to do a video on what I learned about the Freemason compass and square. We've been talking about 47 in Freemasonry forever. Do you know what I didn't know this entire time? The Freemason compass, as shown in their compass and square, square for the square, compass for making circles. The Freemason compass is set at 47 degrees, and I just learned this yesterday after looking at 47 in Freemasonry for 3 years. I'm asking myself, how didn't I know this before? But look at this, 47 degrees, the Freemasons have Euclid's 47th problem about establishing foundation, foundation 47, framework, authority, president, government, White House, Christian, obey, judge, gavel time, all words with 47 gematria. 7's the 4th prime number. Authority has gematria 47 and 137. Of course, 137 is the 33rd prime. The big G represents 33. Freemasonry, order out of chaos, divide and conquer, running your government, running your police, running your race war. 47 degrees plus 90 degrees is 137 degrees around the big G. 137, the 33rd prime. Just learned that yesterday. I can't believe that's something I should have known 3 years ago. Oh. That's why, you learn this language, you just see through everything immediately. CNN likes to bring up this story, the shooting of the 2 unarmed black people in Cleveland. 137 rounds fired by the police. Cleveland equals 33 like police. It's just more race war propaganda. Race war 33. So anyway, we're always learning more, True Seeker. It turns out these other gematria methods on the calculator are very relevant. For those of you who are researching the gematria, when you come on, it turns on these 4 methods right away. In your research, you can click the extra buttons. The method I say to stay away from is this Jewish reduced. I think this is a bogus method. I don't think this is real. I'm asking Derek to remove this. But the satanic gematria is definitely real and used in some codes. The septenary, definitely real. The Chaldean, definitely real. It's not to say that all of these methods are used in the coding of everything, but no doubt they're being used in some instances. So the more you look at, the more you understand. We've always known the Jewish gematria is real. Francis Bacon's related, Sumerian's related. It's all related. And I'm not saying this to just, it's not like, punch in a word and just pick whatever numbers match. It's look at these numbers, look at the decodes, and make sensible patterns. Chaldean, something that I never knew about in 2014. Noticing that Michael Brown's 44 and Darren Wilson's 44, in light of what 44 means in terms of killing, it's hard to overlook that and go, oh, that's a coincidence. I definitely don't think that's a coincidence as much as 44 comes up in these shootings. So that's what I mean. The more you study, the more you pay attention, the more you can see what's relevant and what's not. I'll link all of this information down below. More videos coming today. Until next time, true